Welcome in, everybody. We're diving deep today into Farm Chat, a podcast all about a chef's life on an RV ranch.
An RV ranch.
Yeah, so think like a community,
Yeah.
where folks live in their RVs surrounded by nature,
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
often focused on like sustainability, self-sufficiency, stuff like that. In this case, though, the ranch also hosts retreats, and our chef, well, they have to keep everyone fed.
Which I'd imagine has its own unique challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
I'm intrigued already,
Yeah.
especially since it seems like the podcast itself evolves over time, just like the ranch it's documenting.
Oh, how so?
Well, not only do the cooking arrangements change, we see a shift from open fire cooking to a full commercial kitchen.
Interesting.
But even the host's name seems to change, from Robyn to David.
Whoa, wait, really?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. Is it the same person?
Hmm.
A change in ownership? Something else entirely?
Yeah.
Adds a whole other layer to the story.
Okay, yeah. That's definitely something to keep in mind as we go. But that shift from open fire cooking to a commercial kitchen, it really highlights the adaptability you need in this lifestyle.
Right.
Imagine creating these delicious meals for retreat guests, all with their different dietary needs. And you're doing it all in a tiny RV kitchen, sometimes with just a campfire.
You're hitting on a key point. The resourcefulness needed to thrive in this environment. Think about sourcing ingredients in a rural area. No quick trips to the supermarket for that last-minute gluten-free bread.
Yeah, good luck finding that.
Exactly. It adds a whole new dimension to meal planning and execution. You got to be creative, organized,
Yeah.
and able to think on your feet. Skills that probably go way beyond the kitchen.
Absolutely. And then you throw in unpredictable weather on top of everything else.
Oh, yeah. Can't forget about that.
Robyn, or let's just call him Robyn for now. They tell stories about flooded kitchens and frozen pipes. It paints a picture of how nature really dictates life on the ranch.
A stark contrast to the controlled environments most of us are used to.
For sure. And it brings up this constant interaction with the elements, this balance between embracing nature's peacefulness, but also acknowledging its power.
You got to have a certain resilience to face those challenges, to not just cope, but thrive amidst the mud, the storms,
Yeah.
and yeah, even the occasional poop.
Okay, but now for the really interesting part. We can't talk about this ranch without talking about the animals.
Oh, they're definitely more than just background noise.
Right. They're practically co-stars, each with their own quirks and personality. Robyn's storytelling brings them to life. There's the classic ranch dog, always trying to steal biscuits.
Gotta love a good biscuit thief.
Then you've got Brenda Brightfoot, the donkey, who for some reason thinks she's a dog.
A donkey that thinks it's a dog. That's amazing.
And her best friend is a mini horse named Karen.
Of course, there's a mini horse named Karen.
It's like this microcosm of society mirroring all these human interactions.
Hierarchies, alliances, even moments of comedic tension.
Exactly. And then there's El Chapo, the Texas Longhorn.
Okay. I'm picturing him now.
So picture this massive creature, impressive horns.
Oh, I bet. Often seen peering through the kitchen window while Robyn is cooking, like he's giving his expert opinion on the meal prep.
That's hilarious. It speaks to this blurring of lines between the human and animal worlds. This ranch isn't just a place where animals are kept. They interact and coexist with humans in a way that really challenges those traditional boundaries.
Makes you rethink those assumptions about animal intelligence and behavior.
For sure. Like, take Brenda Brightfoot, the donkey who thinks she's a dog. Is it just a funny story? Or does it point to something deeper about how smart animals can be?
Yeah, are we too quick to dismiss animal behavior as just instinct?
Maybe we are. It's like we try to fit animals into these neat little boxes based on our limited understanding.
When in reality, their world could be so much richer and more nuanced than we imagine.
And that's where Robyn's storytelling shines. It's full of humor and lightness, but it also makes us look deeper. To consider the complexities of these relationships between species. It's not just about the donkey who thinks she's a dog either. Robyn paints a picture of all these characters. Mischievous pigs named Miss Piggy and Hercules. A trio of goats who are escape artists. Even turkeys named Fred and Ethel, known for their rather assertive greetings.
These stories remind us that we share this planet with all these other species, each playing a unique role. And this RV ranch, with its mix of humans and animals, becomes a microcosm of this interconnectedness. It urges us to rethink our place in the natural world.
So what does all this mean for our listeners? Why should they care about a chef's adventures on an RV ranch? I think it comes down to this. Farm Chat offers a glimpse into a different way of life, one that challenges norms and reminds us there are other ways to live, to connect with nature, to find fulfillment.
It's an invitation to step outside our comfort zones, to embrace the unexpected, and maybe even learn something about ourselves in the process.
And to look at the world with curiosity, to question our assumptions, and to recognize the richness and complexity of life beyond our human-centric view. Now, before we dive deeper into Robyn David's culinary journey and all the philosophical questions these animal encounters raise, let's take a moment to appreciate the unique setting, the RV ranch. It's a place where sustainability, community, and a deep connection with nature all come together. A fascinating contrast to the fast-paced, tech-driven world many of us live in.
It's a world that deserves a closer look.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about the RV ranch itself, this unique blend of community living, sustainability, and a deep connection with nature. It's a world many of us might only dream of. But through Farm Chat, we get a front row seat to the realities, both the challenging and the rewarding parts of this alternative lifestyle.
Yeah, you're right. This podcast is like a window into a world that might seem completely foreign to a lot of listeners. And it's not just about the physical setting either. It's about the values and priorities that shape life on the ranch. This strong emphasis on self-sufficiency, resourcefulness, and respect for the natural world.
It definitely resonates with this growing movement of people searching for a simpler, more intentional way of life. The tiny house movement, the resurgence of homesteading, the focus on our environmental impact. There's a clear desire to reconnect with nature and move away from all the excess of modern consumerism. And Farm Chat taps right into that longing, giving us a peek into a world where these values are actually put into practice every day.
And it does it in such an engaging way. It's not just a lecture about sustainable living. We're experiencing it through Robyn David's stories, their mishaps and triumphs.
Like that evolution of the cooking setup we talked about. Going from open fire to a commercial kitchen, that says a lot about the growth and adaptability of the ranch. This commitment to providing a good experience for the retreat guests, while still holding on to those core values of simplicity and resourcefulness.
It's like they're finding that balance between practicality and principle, something we all struggle with in our own lives, whether it's running a business, managing a household, or just trying to make good choices in a world that's constantly pushing us towards excess.
And it goes beyond just the equipment. It's about the food, too. Robyn David's culinary creations are like a microcosm of the ranch's whole philosophy. They're not just making mass-produced meals, they're crafting dishes that reflect the seasons, the dietary needs of their guests, a respect for the art of cooking.
Yeah, the focus on food is definitely a standout element in Farm Chat. It's not just fuel. It's a central part of the community experience, a way to connect with others and express creativity. And it's something the listener can connect with, no matter what their lifestyle or cooking skills are like.
Food has this universal appeal. It goes beyond cultures and brings people together. And in this case, it represents those values that are at the heart of the RV ranch lifestyle.
And we can't forget the challenges of cooking for a group with so many different dietary needs, especially in such a remote setting. Robyn David mentions having to accommodate gluten-free vegan and other restrictions, which takes a whole other level of planning and ingenuity.
It really shows their resourcefulness and commitment to inclusivity. They're not just catering to the majority. They're making sure everyone feels welcome and taken care of.
It points to something bigger about the RV ranch community as a whole. This sense of welcoming and acceptance, where differences are celebrated, not excluded. Such a refreshing change from the often divisive nature of the world outside.
And that sense of community includes the animals, too. We've talked about the close bond between Robyn David and the animals, but it goes deeper than that. The animals themselves seem to have this unique social structure, with hierarchies, alliances, even moments of interspecies bonding.
It's like the ranch is its own little ecosystem. Humans and animals coexisting in a way that challenges those traditional ideas of dominance and separation. And it's fascinating to see how Robyn David navigates these complex relationships, often with humor and compassion.
Think about that recurring theme of animals helping with the chores, the biscuit-stealing dog, the goats escaping at the worst times. Even El Chapo, the Texas Longhorn, giving his 2 cents on the cooking.
Those moments bring so much humor and a touch of absurdity to the podcast. They remind us that even in a world striving for order and control, there will always be unexpected curveballs, especially when animals are involved.
But it's not just about the laughs. It's about learning to adapt and finding joy in those unexpected moments. Robyn David's stories teach us to embrace the chaos, find the humor in the mishaps, and appreciate those unique personalities that make up this unconventional community.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most rewarding experiences come from stepping outside our comfort zones, embracing the unpredictable nature of life. a lesson that applies to so much more than just an RV ranch.
Absolutely. Whether we're dealing with our own personal challenges, navigating relationships, or trying to figure out our place in the world, the lessons from Farm Chat offer valuable insights into resilience, adaptability, and finding connection and meaning in the unexpected.
And it reminds us that sometimes the most profound lessons come from the simplest things. A shared meal, a moment of connection with an animal, the beauty of a sunrise over a rural landscape.
Those are the moments that stick with us long after we finish listening, making us rethink our priorities and what truly matters.
Now, as we head into the last part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to the central figure in all of this, Robyn David. We touched on the name change, but haven't really dug into what it might mean. Is it just a rebranding, a reflection of some deeper personal transformation, or something else entirely?
That question of identity adds a whole other layer of intrigue to the podcast.
Uh,
It makes us think about how our experiences shape who we are, how we present ourselves to the world, and how we navigate that journey of self-discovery.
It's a theme that resonates with everyone. No matter what our background or lifestyle is, we're all on this path of self-discovery, constantly evolving and redefining ourselves in the face of new experiences and challenges.
And Farm Chat, with its mix of humor, heartwarming stories, and thought-provoking observations, gives us this unique perspective to explore those universal themes. It's a reminder that even in the most unconventional settings, we can find profound lessons about ourselves, our connection to nature, and the power of human connection.
So we've been really digging into Farm Chat, and it's clear that this podcast is so much more than just these quirky stories about life on an RV ranch.
Definitely. It's a journey of self-discovery, a celebration of community, both human and animal, and an invitation to really re-examine how we relate to the natural world.
We talked about the resourcefulness you need to survive out there, the challenges of cooking for all those different diets, and this constant back and forth between embracing nature's peacefulness while also respecting its power.
Right. And one of the most powerful themes that keeps coming up is this question of identity, represented by that shift from Robyn to David.
Yeah. It's a question that really stays with you as a listener. Makes you think about the whole idea of self-discovery and how we change over time.
Is it just a rebranding? Or is there a deeper personal transformation happening within the host Farm Chat? Leaves that open to interpretation. Kind of like the uncertainty we all face in our own lives as we navigate shifting roles, new perspectives, and figure out who we're becoming.
And I think that ambiguity actually makes the story even richer. It lets us engage with it on different levels, come to our own conclusions, and connect with the themes that really hit home for us personally.
Exactly. And while we're thinking about the mystery of Robyn David's identity, it also makes us consider how we see and interact with the animals on the ranch, and really all animals on this planet.
We've had a good laugh over the biscuit-stealing dog, the donkey, who thinks she's a dog, and El Chapo always watching the meal prep. But those stories have a deeper meaning, too.
They make us confront our own biases and assumptions about animal intelligence and behavior. How much do we project human qualities onto these animals, and how does that affect how we understand their inner world?
A Farm Chat doesn't give us easy answers, but it pushes us to ask those tough questions, to observe more carefully, and to acknowledge how complex communication and connection can be between species.
It's about developing empathy and respect, recognizing that animals aren't just there for our entertainment or to be used, they're living beings with their own unique ways of experiencing the world.
And maybe by recognizing that shared experience, we can start to close that gap between humans and animals and create a more harmonious way of living together.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. Farm Chat is more than just a podcast. It's a reminder that the most profound lessons in life often come from the most unexpected places.
It's about finding beauty in simple things, embracing the challenges of a life less ordinary, and never losing that sense of wonder for the world around us.
And it's about the power of connection with the land, the animals we share our lives with, and the people who make up our communities.
So as you go about your day, remember what we learned from this deep dive into Farm Chat. Embrace the unexpected, seek connection, and never stop exploring that fascinating world just outside your comfort zone.
And hey, maybe keep an eye out for a judging Texas Longhorn peering through your kitchen window. You never know what wisdom they might be trying to share.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, stay curious.